Hey folks, welcome back to another day in this Minecraft world. So how things are going to work with this episode is I screwed up the audio again on the last video. I did a whole bunch of stuff and I forgot to change the number of input sources there were. So I sat here recording this video and talking to myself for probably the better part of the day. So because of that, this one is going to be done with a voiceover. So to start with, take note that I'm not wearing any armor and there's nothing in my inventory in the hotbar. The reason for that is because I decided to be a little proactive and go do some exploring between cuts. So I went after the map over there, which is right next to the one video we did, all the way over there. There really wasn't all that much of importance to note other than some pretty landscape views and some floating pieces of mountain. There was one point on my way back up, I did it the exact same way we did before. I went down, up, and on this one pass up, I did see this little house sitting all by itself. So I think that might have been a witch hut, and I would have passed that on my next pass down. So I decided to just keep going. And I did also find a village, a very small one. It's pretty fairly close. I was marking all of this stuff on the map. Now the thing that got me was when I was about halfway through the map, I was coming close to the top again, and I came across a desert temple. Now I had never seen a desert temple, I'd never been in one, so I thought it was pretty cool. So I went in and I was investigating it. I didn't find anything. There was like no chests or anything like that, and then like there was this main room and there was like decoration on the floor, and it kind of looked like it was all pointing towards the center. So I went to the center and I dug a hole in the center. So I looked down there and I saw 4 treasure chests and a piece of carpet, and I thought to myself, that's cool, I'll go down there and that'll be a nice haul. So me being naive, I hopped down in there and I hear the tss. I'm like, uh-oh, and it was too late. I heard a whole bunch of explosions and I died. I respawned back at my base. Now it's close enough. I thought that I was okay for the whole 5-minute thing. You know, after 5 minutes, things will despawn. But when I made it back there, the only thing that I saw were you know, floating bits of debris like rocks and stuff. So I figured after I died and I lost everything, the subsequent explosions must have blown and destroyed everything that I had. So I lost all that time building up all that armor and those tools and collecting everything I had in my inventory. So that really bummed me out. But it's not all bad news. So when I got back, I decided to build this little AFK little hut thing right here. I climbed inside and I closed myself off just in case, so that way there were no phantoms that came and got me in the middle of the night. So I went and I took a shower and I did some stuff, and when I opened this back up, lo and behold, I saw some villager kids running around, which was super cool. It's good to know that the villagers are getting along and there's enough beds and things for them to do to go ahead and start breeding amongst themselves. So once I realized that my villagers were prospering, I got the crazy idea to zombify one of them and then cure it, give it a lectern, and see if I can get mending for super cheap. I saw another video of this guy, Waddles. He cured one and ended up getting mending for 1 emerald and a book. I thought that was really cool. I wanted to see if I could mimic that. So I built a little hut and this fenceway so I could lure a villager over and trap him inside the hut. In the process, of course, I had to see these creepy dudes again. They're so creepy. They wander around and they just stare at you when they see you. But anyway, so what I did is those 2 villagers that I brought over here that were being a pain because they wouldn't lose their jobs from the village that they came from, I took the one, the cleric. I figure if I use him, since he's useless anyway, he still wouldn't lose his job. I put down a brewing station, and one of the other villagers took that job. So he was still being difficult and would not lose his job, so I decided I was going to use him. So I lured him into the hut, and then I waited till nighttime, and then I lured a zombie into the hut, and I closed them in together. And what ended up happening was the zombie didn't zombify the villager, it killed the villager. So from there I did some research, and I found out that it all depends on the difficulty level that your game is set at. If your game is set on peaceful, you have a 0% chance of getting a zombie villager. And then increasing the difficulty increases your chances of getting one. So I set it from normal to hard, and I did it again, and I ended up getting a zombie villager right away. I thought that was super cool. Now that that was taken care of, I needed a splash potion of weakness in order to cure him. So I thought that if I traded with the current cleric, I could actually level him up to get potions like that. So the cleric will give you an emerald in exchange for rotten flesh. So I went over to the zombie farm and I filled up on rotten flesh since I have a unlimited supply of it over there. So I came back and I started trading and going back and forth with these guys, And it turns out I can't really get them leveled up, and I can't get them to give me potions. And I realized that the only way for me to make it myself is with blaze powder. You get blaze powder from blaze rods, and the only way to get blaze rods is from getting them from blazes in the nether. So I wanted to go into the nether and see if I could find a fortress really quick, maybe see if I can get some blazes so I can do it myself. Well, that ended up not being the case. I went in there for just a couple of minutes and I realized my iron golems had been going through the portal, so there were 2 iron golems in the nether. That was a surprise. But before I went in there, I found out that the zombie villager that I had, even if he was one that was originally a regular villager or traded with, will despawn if I get too far away. So, I had another name tag, I decided to grab it, and I named him James. So now that he's tagged, he shouldn't go anywhere, so I should have plenty of time to come up with the ingredients I need to cure him. So he's on the back burner for a little while. And now for the meat and potatoes of this video. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building a creeper farm. I need as much gunpowder as I could possibly get, because when we go into the nether for mining for netherite, I'm going to be using that as opposed to beds, because you can string dynamite along and blow up a whole bunch of dynamite, as opposed to one bed at a time and you have to be right there next to it in order to blow it up. So that's why we're going to be building this creeper farm. Now, disclaimer, this is by no means a tutorial. I am following some other guides that I found. I do not know the origin of this design. However, it is one that a lot of other people have done. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to scout out a good location. You want to have a good location that has enough room to make this. And then when you start to build it, you also got to consider the orientation of it. Which way do you want to come in to collect your gunpowder? Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be spawning creepers, dropping them down into water, and then they're going to be traveling along into lava, burn up, and then hoppers are going to collect the gunpowder. So you want to start with this 2x3 hole in the ground. Now on the 2 sides, either one of those could be your output, the side where the creepers go out from. So I decided to orient it this way because the one of the 2 sides is facing where the forever base is going to be. So that way when I come out of the base I can look over and I can see, I'm going to build like some sort of like a cool entrance to it. But I'm going to be able to look over and I'm going to see the entrance to the creeper farm, and I'm going to be able to walk over there and grab my stuff. It's going to be right in front of, facing straight towards the house. So it'll be really convenient to walk over there and grab it. You're going to place down blocks 2x2 and you're going to make that 2 tall on either of the short sides of the hole that you made. Then you're going to go diagonally. You're going to put 1, 2 down, and you're going to put a 3rd one down, and you're going to come back 5. You're going to do that on both sides, and then you're going to connect the 2 ends. Then you're going to go to the other side of the hole, and then you're going to repeat that again. You're going to put this, and then you're going to build those walls up 2 high, and you also want to make sure that you leave 1 block out so that way you can come in and out as you're doing this. Next, we need a trapdoor in the back center for the cat to sit on. Easiest way to do that is in the hole, center block, all the way back. We need it on the top block, bottom half, right there. Same thing on the other side. Go to the center, top block, bottom half. The next thing I did was I decided to light up the inside. I put some torches around, because when we close off the top, we need to be able to see in here, and we also don't want anything to spawn inside here. The next thing I did was start putting the trapdoors all around the top. You want them on the top of the top block. On this one you can't put one because there's technically already a trapdoor on that block. But you just want to go around the whole thing, make sure you shift click when you do the inside, and just line the entire top with trapdoors. This is so that the very top portion of that top block is occupied. And the only thing that's big enough to actually spawn in here is creepers and anything smaller than that. So like say spiders, but we have a solution for spiders. This portion here you can leave open. For one, if anything spawns in here, they'll just fall in the hole. And second, if you want to stack this, as in put another one on top, that will be for the next level to drop theirs down. Next, you want to put these trapdoors down on the top part of these blocks and open them up. The creepers, for whatever reason, believe that those are a walkable block, but however, they're not. So when the cat is on the trapdoor in the back, for whatever reason, creepers are afraid of them, and they're going to run away, and the only way to go is in the center. So if they think that they can walk on those blocks, they're just going to fall down, and that's when they're going to get trapped in the kill chamber. Now's the time to bring your cats over, and before I brought mine over, I decided I was going to breed them so that way I still had 2 cats on hand in case I need more in the future. So look at that guy, isn't he cute? Now here they followed me over to the creeper farm, and I used a leash to actually bring them up top and direct them towards the hole where they just fell right in on top of the thing. I de-leashed them, and then I made sure to have it sit. So that way he will stay there and will never move again. And then do the exact same thing on the other side with the other cat. Now the next thing we do is we lay down some carpet, but we need to put it in strategic places. You start with the center one right directly under the cat, move over 2 on either side. Same thing, you do another row with that. You skip 2 going down, skip 2 going over, skip 2 to the other side, and then 1 more right in front of that. What this does is, this is for spiders. Spiders need a 3x3 area in order to spawn, and they cannot spawn on carpet. So by placing these pieces of carpet, nowhere in here is there a full 3x3 area. So the only thing that can actually fit in here now to spawn is creepers. And of course, do this exact same thing on the other side. The next thing we're going to do is start on the kill chamber. So now this 2x3 hole, we're going to dig down 3 blocks. That's going to leave 2 blocks for the creeper and 1 block for a bucket of water. So that way the water can travel us down. Now before you dig down here, make sure to go outside and take note of the orientation. You want to make sure that you're going to be digging your tunnel in the correct direction. Now we can start digging our tunnel. I put a torch right there. That's the direction that I want the tunnel to go. So on the opposite side, I dropped a bucket of water in either corner. This is so that we can dig this out and we can find out where the water stops. Because wherever the water stops, we need to dig down 1 more in order to make the water continue to go. Now you can see right here, that's where the water stops. So the block directly under the water, you want to remove those 2. The water will drop down 1 and continue on. So we want to dig out until we are past the point where the water stops again. So this is where we ended up. We ended up coming out of the hill, right in front of where the house is going to be, which is right where I wanted it. I did a little bit of decorating, because if you're going to do that, now is the time to do it, because we're going to be closing this off. Now this next part, the way we place our chests and our hoppers. I decided to go this way. Some other people like to put their hoppers in and then their chest in front of their hoppers, so that way so everything is on the same level. I decided to go this route because I do ultimately want to drop this entire land down 1 block, and I want some stairs to go down into it. I want to feel like we're going down into something to collect our goodies. Now we are going to need 4 signs, 1 on either side on top of the hoppers, and then 1 up and 1 back as well on both walls. This is going to contain our lava. For some reason, signs are immune to lava. They don't burn, so that's how we're going to hold the lava in place. Then we got to put some glass in here, so that way when the creepers come down, they're going to come down and they're going to land on top of the hoppers. And then the lava, which is 1 block up, their head is going to be in the lava, and that's what's going to burn them up, and they're going to die, and they're going to drop their gunpowder. The hoppers will pick it up and deposit it in the chest. Now you also want to put some glass right up on top just like that. That is because, just so that way when the creepers come down, they don't try to float up. And if they float up, you know, sometimes the gunpowder can burn and you lose it. So just by putting a couple blocks up there, it prevents that. Now we want to go ahead and place our buckets of lava. You only need one just to put it right there, but you see how it flows like that? I like things to be even, so I put 2 buckets of lava in there. Next we're going to come in and start capping off the farm. Bye, kitty. You can do this anyhow you'd like. I decided to keep it just over top of the trapdoors, because I figured I'm using black and green concrete. I figured, you know, creeper colors. And I wanted to have a little bit of depth, so I left it with that ledge all around the edge. This center section, if you are going to be stacking this, meaning putting another one on top of it, you can leave that open, so that way the creepers have a place to fall through. Now the next thing you need to do is light up the entire area, as much light as you can. Rule of thumb, just like with the zombie farm, bright AF. Put torches everywhere. You want to limit the amount of mobs that can spawn near your creeper farm. This is going to increase its efficiency. In the daytime, it should be great. At nighttime, it might go down because of all the mobs. A couple things to do before we can consider this complete. You want to go into the farm, collect all of your torches, say bye to the kitties one last time, and then close it up. And that is basically all of the hard work completed. One thing you might want to consider, on the very top where your chests and hoppers are, you might want to put a couple of glass blocks in there as a roof, because now we need to go up. Up, up, way up. We need to go exactly 120 blocks up from where my hoppers are. It's the same level as where the creepers are. I took 2 stacks of 60, and I'm just going to use them to go up. What we need to do is we need to get the creeper farm at the very bottom of the spawn sphere. What that is basically think of a giant sphere around you, and inside that sphere is the spawn range, or the spawn area for mobs. So by going 120, I believe it's 128 or something like that. So by going up 120 blocks, you are now putting the creeper farm at the very bottom of the sphere that's around you. And since there's nothing else around you but air, the only place for things to spawn are all the way down there at the ground. Now, I only just got up here, and you can already see that the creeper farm is going full tilt. Look at them all. They're just lining up to die. And you can also see that it is starting to become nighttime, and the surrounding area is lit up, but further out, you see that skeleton right there that just spawned? Now, you see all those other mobs that are spawning all around there? That's actually lowering the ability for spawns to happen inside the creeper farm. So you can already see that production of them have slowed down significantly. Haven't even seen one yet. So more of the area needs to be lit up. It is actually starting to get late in the day. So I'm going to do 2 tests, 2 AFK tests. I'm going to build a little enclosure so that way phantoms don't get me when I'm not around. But I'm going to do a 1-hour AFK session and then an 8-hour AFK session. So I'm going to do the 1 hour, and I'm going to go off, and I'm going to go do something, and then I'll come back, and we'll see what's in there. And I'm going to start another AFK just before I go to bed. So, we'll see you in an hour. It's been an hour. Let's check on the goods. I'm excited. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit more than 5 stacks of gunpowder in 1 hour. That's an amazing turnout. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I have everything done for the day that I need to. I'm going to go ahead and go to bed, and then we're going to do 8 hours, and we'll see what happens. I'll see you in the morning. Do you believe this? I'm trying to set up for my 8-hour thing, and I start getting attacked. I turn around, it's the dude with the banner on his head. These numbskulls never left. They stayed in the area and were wandering around. Do they have nothing better to do? Alright, it's been 8 hours. Let's take a look. Look at that. There's stuff sitting on top of the hoppers. That means they're completely full. Oh my god. A double chest, completely full, full hoppers with stuff on top. That is a lot. And all I did was go to bed. I think I had a productive night. Alright folks, so this is how we're going to end it. I added another double chest with hoppers going from the first one to the second one, and I'm waiting for everything to equalize. But you guys saw how much there was. I don't think we're going to have any issues with TNT. Just got to collect some sand and we're ready to rock. So next video, we're going to be building the iron farm. We're going to take some more of those villagers, we're going to catch some zombies, and we're going to see how much iron we can get. Because we're going to need a lot of iron for all the other stuff we're going to be making. So, until next time, Den out.